Hi, this is Mermaid Yoga TV with your show host Alicia McMichael. Today we have a very special guest, and her name is Athena Alexander. She is here today to be a part of our television series, and today's television series is called A Warrior's Journey. Please welcome to the show, Miss Athena Alexander.
Thank you.
Hello, how are you today?
Fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was so very excited to meet you and to hear about your life's journey and where you started and where you've come from and your life of just dynamic transformation. I was just really blown away, and I just felt so inspired to invite you to be here today and to share about your journey and your experiences and what you do today. So let's go ahead and start by asking you, how did you get started with your journey of transformation?
I think I was birthed into it, because as I was reflecting early on today why I'm on my journey and what was my passion and purpose and meaning in life, it came to me that from my birth on that everything in my life was leading up to providing holistic communication. From the separation of my mother from birth in the islands, she had to go back to the United States to work and left me with my grandmother. And with the different type of conversational styles, my father was an entrepreneur. He owned many real estate businesses and apartment complexes in New York. So I had a stay-at-home mom that cooked 3 meals a day, a father that was there for breakfast and dinner without fail. But his communication style was a bit verbal abusive at times. And for a while, a lot of my family members was, being very hurt and holding on to that pain. But I saw that that was the seed, that style and that impact it had on my self-confidence, on my self-worth, inspired a deep passion and a need in me to want to make a difference in that arena. And I feel like a lot of times we can look back on our childhood and there's messages in our childhood experiences that we were not happy with that inspires a passion in us to want to do something different and make a difference. And now he passed on, and I speak to him and tell him thank you for being part of my journey in inspiring something, such a great cause. This cause is powerful when we learn how to communicate more passionate with each other and with ourselves. We transform our lives and we transform this world. And I believe it begins with our self-talk, how we dialogue with ourselves. And pain is what motivates us to change. We all, our body, our whole culture is comfortable with the comfort zone. And in order to shift that, it takes something drastic and radical. And I saw that painful experience I had with him and his verbal abusive style, and I held on to that pain. And when I moved out and got married, things was different. In the beginning, the honeymoon was fantastic. And then I saw that his exact style transferred into how my husband and I conversation was with us, when it didn't start like that. And then I joined the military, and that type of communication style that's aggressive and sometimes abusive was following me wherever I went. And whatever circumstances I found myself in, that communication style followed me. So I had to take time and contemplate on that. What is different? The common denominator was me. Everywhere I went, the pain I held on to followed me. And it created that same mirror reflection of what was going on within me to express itself outside of me. So the faces changed, the names changed, the places changed, but the experience remained the same. And that's when I knew that it was an internal journey that I had to go through. That it was something that's within me that's bringing that experience to me. And I realized communication was the foundation. Me and the communication was the two things that impacted my life drastically.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yes.
So what you're sharing is that internally you were holding on to these emotional energies that were projected from your father as a child, and you had to literally retrain yourself internally and to speak a different dialogue. So what you're sharing is your words are powerful. Your words create your reality. Is that what you're sharing?
Yes. And this mirror was the beginning of that journey. I first came into access and connection with my higher self when I transitioned into my marriage, and it started to collapse because I was expecting the abuse. I was expecting that I wasn't worthy of anything better, and what you expect you get. You know, I was expecting you can't trust men, you know, that the whole negative image of that whole dynamics of what the man is going to be like in relationships. You can't trust them. They're fooling around behind your back. They do this or do that. I had all of these negative impressions that I took from my childhood and carried into my relationship, and I was seeing it. And when it replicated itself, because that's what I was expecting to see, so I was looking for it. Where were you? What you doing? And I was looking for it. I got it. And I experienced so much internal pain from expecting and getting what I was looking for that I got down on my knees. I was never a very religious person. I grew up Catholic, confirmation, communion, the whole process, but I still didn't feel a connection with God or anything divine. It was, my pain was, it's all about me, nobody care about me, it's me against the world, I don't trust anyone. So that painful experience from my marriage brought me to my knees. And like I said, pain helps us to change. And I said, if there is a God, take this pain away. And I want to not love to this degree again. I don't want to feel this pain. Please help me. And when I said, please help me, and with tears and a serious need for release from this emotional pain of disappointment, of hurt, of rejection, I was called upon, like I got this intuition, this need to heal myself and help myself. And I looked in the mirror and I said, I love you, with tears rolling down my eyes. And I said, I love you. If nobody else loves you, I love you. And you are worthy and deserving of the best. And every day, you know, the first time I said it, I didn't feel connected with myself. I felt a sense of disconnection. And I kept looking in the mirror, feeling like, yeah, whatever, I don't really feel this. And I kept doing it until I felt it to my core, with tears rolling down my eyes, demanding that I love me, because I realized no one can love me if I don't love myself, because I'm only going to get my mirror reflection, reflecting back to me, my own self-hatred, my own doubts, my own insecurity, all of what I'm seeing in my environment is my internal state. And for some reason, the goddess, God, the universe, consciousness, whatever name, came to me in a way that I understood, not no voice or anything, just a calling, a feeling. And I realized that I had to go within to change me. And looking in that mirror every day and finally feeling a little bit of, oh my God, you know, I do love you. And yes, you're crazy at times, and yes, you do outrageous stuff, but I love you no matter how crazy you get, and no matter what you do, and no matter how imperfect you are, and no matter how many flaws you have, no matter what you look like, I love you just the way you are. And once I got that grounded in myself, then my whole world turned. It changed. And I was like, whoa, this is scary. Because everybody started noticing me, where I felt so lonely, so disconnected from my environment, so isolated, and can't seem to connect with others. I get desperate and please love me, please pay attention to me, please be my friend. And I had this desperate, needy essence and energy that I was sending out. And the more I became desperate to be part of something greater than myself, to belong to a group, to feel part of anything, as the more people repelled me. I was like, you know, you're too desperate, you're too needy, you know, I don't like that energy. And I was like, so the more they rejected me, the more hungry and needy I got, and it just became this vicious cycle. And once I said, I love you and I don't care, I don't need nobody, I'll be all right all by myself, then all of a sudden people was gravitating to me. You want to go out to drink? You want to go out to eat? What you doing? And then I had friends from Caucasians and Asians and blacks, and then all of them was wanting to be with me, and I was trying to merge all different cultures, and they were not merging without me, and it was just, I felt like, wow, you know, the whole world loves me now. And I got a little heady with it, and I stopped with the self-love, and I stopped with taking time out with me, because although I was saying I love you, I also took the actions. I went out to the movies by myself and I said, wow, this is so uncomfortable sitting here. Everybody couple up, everybody have friends and family with them, and I'm just sitting here in this movie all by myself. This is just so hurtful, so lonely. And then I said, no, you know what? If you're not comfortable being with yourself, you can't expect anybody else to feel comfortable being with you, because you're only going to radiate that energy back out and get more of what you don't want. So then I went eating. That was even worse than the movies. Now, all the bright lights and everybody seeing me all alone, and I'm thinking, they thinking, oh, that's so sad. She's all by herself. She don't have nobody to go out eating with her. And I was like, oh, this hurts. This is just so uncomfortable. But I'm going to keep doing it until I don't feel uncomfortable anymore. And I went on a trip by myself. First time getting on the plane by myself, and went on vacation by myself. And I just kept doing everything alone until I broke out of that feeling of uncomfortable with myself. And the more I did that, the more people wanted to be around me. And then I was like, you know, I don't know if I want to share myself with everybody all the time. I'm starting to like that time with myself.
So would you say this is self-mastery work? Is this?
Oh, it definitely was. But I didn't know. I didn't plan it. It just, my spirit just propelled me into that path.
And so, Athena, you mentioned that you have served in the United States military, correct?
Yes.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
So how do you feel like your service from the military propelled you into your spiritual evolution?
Oh, it was great, actually. That was the beginning, the seed that was planted for holistic communication to come into birth.
Powerful.
Because after the relationship and the childhood experiences, went into basic training, and I'm like, well, you could yell and curse and do whatever you want. My grandmother did that and beat me, so this is an upgrade, you know, and this is temporary. So, but when I got into the work environment, and it was that competition, that back and forth, and other airmen that I was working with, was we were saying things in front of our supervisor to try and downplay the other one so we could look better in their eyes, and it was all this cat fighting going on. And I said, wow, you know, marriage, childhood, now my job, is there no peace? And I went to one of the individuals that I was having a hard time with, and I said, look, I really want our relationship to be better. You saying things that hurt me, and then I'm retaliating, and we going back and forth, hurting each other and trying to make each other look bad in front of our supervisor. It can be better. And I just want you to know, I know what you're doing. I really don't like it, and we can work together instead of keep fighting with each other and being competitive, because it doesn't make sense for every moment of my day, 8 hours of my day, to be this plus. Should be this uncomfortable. Watching my back, wondering what you're going to do next. You watching your back, wondering what I'm going to do yet. This needs to stop. And let's make a truce here. And once I brought that out into the open, brought the offense into the light, and addressed it, all of a sudden our whole relationship dynamic changed. And I'm like, wow. All I had to do was just say, please stop. You're hurting me. I don't like it. And can we do something better, something different?
So conscious communication is the key to all relationships. So the more that you can speak clearly to your partner or your friends or coworkers or anyone, it really can create the shift to change. And also you're saying it's the interpersonal work that you've done. The more self-love that you've fulfilled yourself with, the more that it creates that in the relationships outside of you. That's really powerful. So Athena, let me ask you a question. What kind of courses do you have coming up here in Hawaii?
Well, I provide communication workshops
Okay.
for the militaries, the direction that I'm moving in, and
Okay.
corporations. And I'll also have a transformational communicators meetup group.
Okay.
Because I feel that once you learn these new techniques, because knowledge is the beginning, you have to be aware of your communication style first.
Okay.
And then you have to have a desire to change and intentions for a different way to communicate.
Okay.
But once you have that, our mind tends to repeat the negative patterns over and over again. So even if you go through a short course to change your behavior, our behavior is ingrained in our patterns and DNA for years of this same repetition. So if you don't have a support group to help to hold you accountable to that desire for that new change, then you'll go back to your old comfort zone. So I believe that a support group system that's incorporated in the new knowledge and training is important to help. For a women's group I have that goes on where we come together and we share our stories, but the story is about our new desires and our ideal life, our new dreams of how we want to change our lives. Because we have these old negative stories about the poor me and the victimized story that keeps us in a victimized state. So we come together to reinforce a new story of a victorious, a triumph new you, and keep each other accountable and supported, and having that bond and that connection. Because with technology now, we all in our phone, and we're not engaging, we're not having eye contact and sharing and being more involved in each other's lives, and we're all longing to be part of something greater than ourselves and to have the support of the community, and that's what I want to provide. It's the very thing I feel is missing in my life.
Beautiful. So do you feel that by having a group of people come together and sharing their visions and their own experiences, that this can help propel them into accessing a higher state of consciousness?
I believe so. The one main thing that really helped me out was taking my personality test, because we all live, the majority of our mental state is lived in a subconscious automatic pilot mindset. So we pick up these patterns from the childhood and we just keep redoing it over and over and over again. So once I saw that I was able to get a glimpse of the inside working of my mind and my patterns and my habits based on how I answer these questions, I was like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I see that in my life. And once that awareness of who I am was there, then it was easy to say, no, it's not helping me out. I really want to change because I'm tired of doing the same thing and experiencing the same experience that I don't want anymore. So I think it's important for individual to be clear on who they are and the new changes that they want to make, and have the support system to support that change.
Wow, that's amazing. So your work with the military, how can, so your program is called Conscious Communication, is that correct?
Holistic communication.
Holistic communication. How can this impact our military and the way that our systems have been functioning with the high levels of trauma amongst our military soldiers and veterans?
I think it can help them because, first of all, they would do assessments on their life, on what their patterns are now, and how the different parts of their personality traits, if it's serving them or not serving them, and the areas that they want to change. Then we create a new storyline, a new action plan, a game plan of, okay, this is who I am and where I am right now. This is who I want to be, and this is how I need to get there. And then have that support. The trauma that they went through is to just get clarity on what you do want. Because once you know what you don't want, it brings clarity and a passion for what you do want. So that old story is just to get clarity on what your new desire is, and then to focus on that and to have that to because once the guys or women that's going through the PTSD, they come together, they have that same camaraderie of, yes, I experienced that, I understand where you at, and have that support base plus the training and the awareness and the conscious new choices, and all of that combined together should make a positive change in their lives.
For those men and women that have the emotional triggers from being in the war, can your technique of holistic communication, do you actually go into a state of meditation and reprogram people to get them out of their old limiting patterns, or how does it work for your work?
Yes, there's a lot of like Joe Dispenza. There's a lot of scientists that have shown that why I do meditation myself. That's a core part of my rituals in the morning. What meditation do, it breaks up the patterns.
Okay.
So because it's a way of getting to know your true self, your spiritual essence. So once that repetition of that old story and the emotional trauma is focused on and played over and over, what is wired together is what's fired together is wired together. So you want to break that, and through breaking it, you create first, which is what I do, a ritual of meditation to break the pattern.
Okay.
And then a rampage of attitude of gratitude. If you're in a state of gratitude and you find things to be grateful for, you can't be in a state of pain and discomfort and focusing on your emotional pain and be in a state of gratitude and happiness for the life you have, for going through all of that and becoming stronger for it. You can only experience one emotion at a time, good or bad, pain or joy, and you get to consciously choose what pain, if you want to focus on the pain and experience more of that, or if you want to focus on the joy and experience more of that. So it becomes a deliberate, conscious choice that is supported.
Beautiful. So this word consciousness, some of our viewers out there, they may not be that familiar with the word. Can you share with us what consciousness is to you?
For me, consciousness is believing that there is something greater than myself, a higher power, a higher existence, a universal intelligence, God, whatever that you choose to call it. I choose not to utilize the word God because in my mind it brings forth thoughts of judgment. I'm judging myself, and of course I'm going to fall short, so now I'm criticizing myself. And then I'm focusing on all these negativities because I'm not living up to my expectations, and then it turns into a vicious cycle. But consciousness for me is something divine that created all things. And I am one of those things that's in existence because of consciousness. So each person uses a different word that resonates with their soul or with their belief system, and consciousness resonates with mine. It's just another word for God. It's another word for universal intelligence, or source, or spirit, or soul. And I see myself as connecting with that. When I meditate and I quiet my mind, I feel like I have connection with that consciousness, with God. And I'm able to feel loved. I feel when I meditate and focus on my breath in and out, and 1,000 times my mind goes off, I bring it back to my breath, and I'm up to an hour now. And when I meditate for an hour, I'll come out of there and I feel so juiced up.
Wow.
I feel connected, I feel loved, I feel protected, I feel cared for.
Woo!
And it's the greatest feeling. So all that I don't have, or all the emotional stuff that's going on in my life just seems to fade away because I am connected to source, to consciousness. And I feel completely loved and cared for.
Wow, that's powerful.
It really is.
Now, would you be able to share with us, we're going to be closing up in just a few more minutes. Would you be willing to share with us a guided meditation for the next few minutes?
Well, I do a few first.
Okay.
I look in the mirror and I say, I love you. I believe in you. You're worthy and deserving of the best, because I need to connect with my mind and its negative stuff. Then I go, thank you. Universe, source. Yes.
I love you. What's the next one?
You're worthy and deserving of the best.
You are worthy and deserving of the best.
And I believe in you.
And I believe in you.
So I do that, and then I go through my gratitude, which is the most powerful thing, and I state that thank you, source, God, universe, whichever word you want to use. I'm just using all for everyone to know. I am so grateful to be here in Paradise Island, to have the sun and the ocean and the cool breeze and amazing multicultural individuals surrounding me, to have love all around me. I'm grateful for this breath that I take every day, for this amazing life that I'm living today. And all of the things that I have, my car, my home, my everything, I give gratitude for every single thing that I have. And after I go through that, then I just go into a quiet meditation of focusing on my breath. So sometimes if you breathe in and you hold it for a few minutes, and then you breathe out and you hold it for a few minutes, you have to focus on that so your brains don't take off, because you're focusing on a specific breathing method, and it keeps your mind quiet and in control and not taking off. And every time you do, you bring it back. And with that type of rituals and with my affirmation after, I just feel empowered to go out there and accomplish the world. And things happen. Miraculous things just comes into my life. Like you.
I'm just your mirror.
And a beautiful mirror, I must say.
Beautiful. And how does it feel in your spirit and your heart after you complete your meditation? When you mentioned that space of feeling really grounded and really strong, like what does it feel like stepping out into the world after a 1-hour meditation?
My heart feels open.
Okay.
I feel a sense of joy. I feel like everything that's transpiring in my life is so amazing, and that it's a journey, it's a lesson. It's like, what is my spirit directing me to? What should I do next based on what my environment is my feedback? And I use that feedback from my journey to know if to go right or to go left, or if I'm moving in a good direction, or if I need to make a detour. And it's just a guiding post. It's a guidance system. A GPS system is my environment. That's what I use it for. An indicator to which direction I should go in my life. And I don't take the ups and downs or the failures personal, because it's just there to guide me on my ultimate journey.
Beautiful. Wow. So with your with holistic communication, what's an example of like a way that you would reprogram a negative thought pattern?
I do a multiple, but the most dynamic outside of, matter of fact, I have on my phone, I put affirmations to spiritual music. And when I'm working out or running, I listen to my voice with the music in the background to help reprogram the negative thoughts. But the most powerful, I should say, would be the mirror, because it was the foundation of everything, and then the attitude of gratitude, just all day long, just finding things to be grateful for. Any little thing that happens good for me, I'm like, thank you so much, I'm so grateful. And I find myself so grateful at times that tears is rolling down my eyes, and I'm like, wow, you're such a little crybaby. But that is the bliss I feel inside from connecting to Source and knowing that I am loved, I am protected, I am cared for, and everything is going to be all right. And it's all good, you know?
That's
Even the challenges is there for me to help me grow and to evolve.
That's beautiful to hear. Wow. What do you recommend for our viewers for meditation? Like, how often should they meditate? Should they wake up in the morning and start a session? Or what do you advise for our viewers?
I think ideally in the morning is good, because it prepares you for your day.
Okay.
And ask your spirit or God or Source, whatever your name you use, to show you a sign that you're being listened to, that you're cared for, and that you're loved. Show you something miraculous. But I would start with, if someone is just starting with 5 minutes, because everyone can commit 5 minutes, most people should, and not judge your meditation. Well, you know, my mind kept going, I couldn't focus. And just 5 minutes, and breathe in and out, and every time your mind drifts away, bring it back to the breath. And then increase it to 10 minutes, and then 15 minutes. And the more you do it, is the more feelings of goodness. You're going to feel amazing that you're going to want to do it more. I do it all day long. Every chance I get, I'm like, wow, I want something great to happen. Let me calm my mind down and break the negative patterns. So let me I have to start breaking the old patterns. And the only way to really do that is to meditate. One of the dynamic ways to do it is through meditation, because you stop in the mind from going down its repetitive road.
Beautiful. Thank you. We are just out of time today, so I just want to thank you for being on the show, and please share with our viewers how they can get in touch with you and connect with you to learn more about your holistic communication and meditation program.
Well, I have a website that you can go to, www.athena, THENAHBC.com, holistic business coach, and it provides everything else I have available, and also my transformational communicators meetup group on meetup.com, meetup.com.
Awesome. When's the next meetup?
It's after this holiday. Probably next Wednesday is the time I'm going to set up another one.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. And I look forward to seeing your growth and your leadership in our community here in Hawaii, as well as the military community. And I just thank you so much for all the inner work you've done on yourself and your journey, the journey of a warrior from being in the military to now being a holistic powerhouse meditator and life changer. Thank you for all the inspiration you bring to my life, and thank you for your friendship, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
you.
Thank you. We can wave to our viewers.